If you're a brand entrepreneur that's just getting started, you're most likely wondering, when it comes to design, do I need a fashion designer on my team? My name is Shadi Adada. I am the creative director of FittDesign. I've worked and trained over 40 different designers over the last 5 years. Each designer can bring a host of different skills to your brand. So what are the main tasks that a fashion designer should be performing, and what can they do to enhance your business? That's what I'm going to be discussing on today's episode. The first key task is performing research. They should be establishing the visual look and feel for an upcoming collection. A great resource for this might be something like Pinterest. You can look at different mood boards of scenes, architectural scenarios. A fashion designer should be following and keeping up to date with trends. They should be using a host of different fashion forecasting systems to be able to look at and to observe where the market is heading and what customers are going to want in 6 to 12 months from now. Fashion designers should be able to create and edit mood boards for your brand. They should be able to put together in one clear and streamlined way the visual aesthetic of the brand. That way you can have a conversation about where it should head. That gives you extreme clarity over what you can achieve with your collection. A fashion designer should be able to source fabrics. They should be up to date with international and local fabric fairs, know how that fabric is going to perform, how it's going to drape, how it's going to hang on a specific mannequin. They're going to be able to analyze and help you steer the ship on one of the biggest variable components in the cost and in the perceived quality outcome of your collection, which is going to be in the fabric. Fashion designers should also be able to coordinate designs with other design teams, whether they're in-house or whether they're outsourced. A fashion designer is the central source, and they make sure that everything happens according to the fashion and product design vision of the company. A fashion designer should be able to monitor quality across a range or the entire spectrum of the brand. They should be able to look at lab dips to ensure that the colors on the lab dips are as per what's specified in your tech pack. They should be able to look at trims, notions, packaging, to be able to evaluate, does this hold up to our standards? Not only are they going to be able to research it, to moodboard it, to design it, but also make it happen, to develop it, to sketch a bunch of different looks, different silhouettes, different articulations of the same design. A fashion designer must also have the technical knowledge to make sure that their garments are going to work once they're going to production. Also allow you to develop a prototype, be able to follow through with a prototype to make sure that it is executed exactly as intended. Be able to source and design trims. Trims are the accessories that are attached to any garment. A fashion designer will be able to communicate technical information that is necessary to create the finished product. This is sometimes called a tech pack, for turning your design from a digital design into a physical reality. These technical information can be things like the bill of materials, the fabric used, the colors that are used. The tech pack is the blueprint. It is the translation between the idea that's in your head and the ability to turn it into a physical reality. A fashion designer is going to be able to conduct and participate in fittings. When you create a physical prototype, depending on the quality of the tech pack, it may or may not be perfect. You need to be able to have a fashion designer that can understand how it should be adjusted. All of these things allow you time and time again to be able to perfect a product. A fashion designer is going to be able to communicate with production staff to make sure that a product or a project is on track. Too many holes ultimately destroy a brand. A fashion designer can plug those holes and make sure that the brand keeps on sailing away. They'll be able to take a look at the samples that you're receiving and to cross-reference them against your tech pack. Instead of having to wait more time, spend more money to make a new sample, they can take a look at your prototype and they can cross-reference it against your tech pack and make sure that everything has been followed correctly. A fashion designer must have an understanding of the cost structure of any product. They must be able to put together a bill of materials to understand what the cost of goods sold is going to be and what the markups for retail should be, how to price, and creating a compelling pricing strategy that keeps you on track with everyone else, but also doesn't put it so that you are undercharging and you're potentially losing money or not being able to scale your business because you're not profitable. They'll be able to understand how design implications, how production implications can affect your bottom line. Last but not least, a fashion designer must be able to present your collection. A designer should also have the ability to sell, to identify clearly how your designs meet the market's needs. They should have an understanding of the storytelling aspect. That is a wrap on this episode. Hopefully by now you've seen the true value of a fashion designer on your team. Do not underestimate this. As a business owner, I get it. You have so many different hats to wear, and the fashion and the product design component is one of the most important steps of that process. If you can afford it, you should definitely consider investing into someone that can take your vision and turn it into a reality so that you can focus on doing what you do best. If you're interested, we are a team of quality fashion designers. We've worked in the industry for the last 7 years. We have thousands of brands under our belt. We know what it takes to take an idea and to turn it into a physical reality with zero hassle, zero headache, and effectively communicate your unique idea to the world. So if you're interested in working with us, you can shoot us an email at studio@fittdesign.com. Leave me a short line of what you're looking for and I'll get back to you immediately. Also, if you are interested, you can tune in every single week on Wednesdays and Sundays. We launch 2 episodes and we'd love to see you on here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Design TV. Until next week's episode, stay awesome.